Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to VR Bug on YouTube. So today we're going to carry on with Life Alyx commentary mode. This is part 2. Okay, there's a stream that I played a couple of days ago before this. Go and look it up if you haven't seen it. This is part 2 of the stream, and we're jumping back in to Life Alyx commentary mode. So, very exciting stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a desktop view so I can see you guys in VR with me. So let me just dock that onto a left controller, like so. Okay, and then I just need to focus a window, and then we are ready to rock and roll. There we go. Nice, so I can see you guys in VR with me. I'm not going to have text-to-speech on for this, just because there's going to be a lot of talking anyway from the developers themselves explaining everything about this game. So it kind of makes sense not to have TTS on, but I have got you here. That means that I can interact with you regardless. So, all good. We made it to the Northern Star. So we're just approaching about halfway through the game, I would say, when we kind of get here. Haven't seen any commentary nodes just yet. So let's get stuck back in. Oh god, yeah, this is still one of the best levels in Half-Life, in my opinion. It's amazing. Right, got a dude over here first. So let's clear these guys out. Whoa!
Down to 3 magazines.
Wow, that was an intense start. But hey ho, that's what happens. Right, let's have a listen to our first bit of developer commentary. So, physics sounds, this is called.
We knew from previous VR projects that players would expect a high level of fidelity from the interactions with objects in the world, and during early testing of Half-Life Alyx, we received comments that objects were not making the sounds that players expected, given an object's material, size, and assumed weight. This led us to a more granular approach to physics sounds than we had used in prior products. For example, in the past, we would have used a single physics sound for all objects of a certain size and material. So, we would have had one sound to represent collisions of small metal objects, another sound for large wooden objects, and so on. For Half-Life Alyx, we built up a new library of object-specific sounds so that we could distinguish between similar objects, like a piece of silverware and a small metal can. Not only do we now have a library of almost 2,000 object-specific physics sounds,
2,000
over
objects,
160 different objects, but we can further alter the sound at runtime based on an object's impact velocity and the hardness of the material it collides with.
What?
In some cases, we even layer in sounds representing an object's contents, such as matches in a matchbox or fuel in a jerry can, which can be heard when those objects are shaken by the player or collide with something at high velocity.
Wow, over 2,000 individual audio objects.
Anything look like a breaker box in there?
That's just crazy.
Nah, I'm still looking.
Right, we've got another commentary node over here. Let's have a listen to this one. Liquid in bottles. Now, this will be an interesting one, and the main reason for that is because they added the liquid physics after Half-Life Alyx had originally dropped. And it was really weird because it's one of those updates where everyone was like, why not did they update that? But then you look at it in game and it changes everything. And I mean, the liquids are just incredible with the way that the physics engine handles it and how it's been designed. So let's have a little listen, see what they've got to say about liquid in bottles.
Given the large number of bottles throughout the game, and the fact that they feature so significantly in the distillery gameplay, we decided to make interacting with them as interesting as possible using a procedural liquid effect. Each bottle is assigned a random fill level, and values for the amount of liquid agitation and foaming are calculated based on the bottle's movement. This is stored in the object's tint colour, which is otherwise unused. The shader calculates the liquid level based on the bottle's orientation in game. Since the amount of liquid visible in a bottle as a proportion of its height is different when oriented upright, sideways or upside down, different values are used for each in order to preserve the apparent volume of liquid inside.
What the
The
hell?
liquid surface is then
How do you
displaced by a
calculate
number of
this?
sine waves,
It's
modulated with
ridiculous.
the agitation value to create rippling waves. The areas determined to contain liquid, as opposed to air, take on the colour and refraction index values of that liquid. Bubbles and foam effects are added based on the agitation and foaming values. These are procedural
Agitation
and can
and
be modified
foaming
to create a variety of
values.
different behaviours. Several layers of bubbles are created in a local view space relative to the object, so that they're stable from frame to frame and can always move upwards relative to gravity. Artists can set a variety of parameters per liquid, such as colour, glow, foaming potential, wave properties, and a meniscus at the surface of the liquid which curls up around the edges of the volume, helping to communicate the viscosity of the liquid. The refracted environment seen through the glass and liquid is sampled from the same cubic
What?
environment map of the local area that's used for reflections, and so the bottles are effectively opaque and do not have to blend with the frame buffer in the way that transparent objects normally do. This was a strategic design choice, as along with storing the physics data in the tint colour, it means that the bottles can be rendered together as a batch in arbitrary order, which is critical for graphics throughput. In the end, the refractive liquid effect allows for a variety of interactions to take place at a fidelity that is especially compelling with tracked hand controllers in VR.
Unbelievable amount of information for how they put liquid in a bottle. That's like crazy. Absolutely amazing. Okay, then let's carry on. So, to the left. Oh yeah, we have to solve this puzzle, don't we? So we've got one here. It goes up this way. One across here. And behind you. Three over there. Get you out of the way. And then we have one more wire in here somewhere. There we go. Nice. We've opened up the lift.
Power back on.
And let's make our way through the Northern Star Hotel. Possibly my favourite level.
Looks like we're taking the ladder.
Because I quite like it, all the kind of Zen infestation stuff that exists in this hotel. It kind of creates a really good atmosphere. And I just find it really enjoyable to kind of walk around it. And it's creepy.
3 mags left.
I think he dropped a mag there. Let's go and have a little looky. Did you drop a mag? You did. Thank you very much.
This place is overgrown.
Just a
How
tad.
dangerous do we think this stuff really is?
Well, it is spores from another dimension, so probably, yeah, extremely. But a rare opportunity to examine alien flora up close.
Indeed, Russell. Okay, we've got a commentary node over here, so we'll have a little listen to what they say about this area. That box literally exploded when I touched it then. A little bit weird. Cool. Right, let's listen to this one. Zen Flora Animation.
The Zen flora in this area animate in response to the Vortigaunt energy pulsing from the Combine substation outside.
Oh.
Since the substation itself is not visible from inside the hotel, it was important that we continue to remind players of its presence using audio and visual cues, and the Zen flora provided a perfect opportunity to do this. The shaders used on the Zen flora help illustrate the plant's response to the energy pulses in a few different ways. For example, the villi and cilia elongate and vibrate, while many of the other plants pulsate or glow. The intensity and timing of these effects are driven directly by the sound system, meaning that the audio and visual reinforcement of the Combine substation pulses are always in sync.
So what they're actually saying there is this kind of flora, this Zen flora, is pulsating in relation to the combined power station that is attached to this building, which is crazy. It's something you can't even see, but they want to constantly remind you that you're near that power station. Oh, that one got me. Need that. Anything else around here?
I'm really starting to think I shouldn't be breathing this stuff.
Agreed. Just keep moving. Maybe breathe
Just
less.
keep moving. Breathe less, says Russell. Easier said than done, I would suggest. Okay, so in we go. If I remember rightly, we have to drop down here, don't we? So there's another commentary note down here as well. So let's have a little listen to Zen art.
Breaching the quarantine zone revealed a new hidden secret of the city. Alien plant life from Zen has taken root on Earth and has been thriving in the shadows of City 17. On the development team, the Northern Star Hotel was referred to as Hotel Zen before it had a proper name
Hotel
in the
Zen.
story, as it was the first location we used to explore what Zen foliage could look like and how it might consume any given environment. One of the challenges the environment team faced when designing the Zen foliage was layering a new look onto an existing environment without having to rebuild Zen-infested versions of every prop. We relied heavily on texture blending and kit bashing of Zen foliage shapes to handle most of the big environmental changes when zenifying a scene. We also
Zenifying.
added some new features to our level editor, Hammer, which allowed for more creative manipulation of assets to reduce repetition. For example, we could pose certain types of meshes such as the Zen tentacles. These could be placed, scaled, stretched and manipulated to snake through an environment, giving a handcrafted look without every asset having to be built for a specific location. These elements were editable in Hammer so they could be adjusted at any time, but were baked into static meshes when the map was compiled to improve their runtime performance.
Very interesting. Hey Limitless, how you doing, dude? Hey Helen, welcome to the stream. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. We're just starting out on the part 2 of the developer commentary of Half-Life Alyx. So we finished the last stream at the Northern Star Hotel. So we're kind of picking up where we left off. And we've had some very interesting commentary from developers on liquid physics in bottles and Zen flora. But yes, interesting insights by Valve developers. I hope you're good. Actually, we can use these grenades, can't we? Now, I can't remember what's in here exactly. Oh, Jesus. Maybe take another one of these with us just in case. Oh, we've already got one in our pocket, fine. We're good, thanks mate. Looking forward to another great stream. Cheers, dude. I feel honoured that you guys want to spend some time with me. Right, let's get rid of this barnacle. Because I need all the ammo that it has here. Look at that. Oh, huge chunks of ammo. Congratulations on finishing Half-Life Alyx, by the way. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy the ending? Let's continue on. I can't wait to hear about the lightning dog on this level. I hope they've got some commentary about it.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good at all. I see you, Resin. You can't hide from me. I think we got another one somewhere as well. Well, possibly my favourite part of the entire game is coming up. Ah! He did that.
Russell.
So my favourite part of the game is the scene in the washroom where you're chasing around the lightning dog. It's absolutely awesome. Ellen said anytime. Thank you. I've got a little dialogue box over my chat window. That's not good. Wait a second.
Breaching the quarantine zone revealed a new hidden secret of the city. Alien plant life from Zen has taken root on Earth and has been thriving in the shadows of City 17.
Oh.
On the development team, the Northern Star Hotel was referred to as Hotel
we're
Zen
replaying that
before it was the proper
one.
name in the
Hang on.
story.
We've already heard that one. So let's move on to the next node. Here we go. Reviver Introduction. And what's this one? Reviver Animation. Okay, let's go with Reviver Introduction.
The Reviver, one of the new enemy types introduced in Half-Life Alyx, arose from our observation that playtesters enjoyed searching their environment in VR much more than they had in traditional games. In addition to rewarding that desire to search with ammunition and resin, we experimented with how it could be part of fighting an enemy. We began prototyping with a fast headcrab variant we called the Runner, modifying its behaviour to run away and hide from the player after it attacked. We found players really enjoyed looking for a small, hidden enemy they knew was somewhere within a dense environment. They also liked shooting at a fast-moving enemy that was able to run under and behind everyday objects like tables and chairs.
Where's he go?
Lastly, players talked about liking the way they got to be the aggressor in combat for once, since everywhere else in the game they felt like they were always on the defensive. While feedback was overall very positive, there was one specific problem: how to encourage players to search for the Runner.
Where'd he go?
After a few Runner encounters, we found players would start to realise they didn't have to look for the Runner at all. They could simply wait for it to run away and then leave the room. So we started prototyping various ways in which the Runner could become more dangerous if not found, setting up a time pressure where players had to find the Runner quickly.
Okay.
if the
I
situation
forgot he
would
can
get
fire
worse.
things at you.
After some experimentation, we landed on the prototype where the Runner could revive a fallen zombie and become a new kind of foe, one that was more dangerous than a Runner or zombie. After this change, the Runner was renamed internally to the Reviver, and we began assembling the various encounters
But
around
he's called the Reviver.
It took a lot of playtesting to balance out all the various elements of the Reviver fights, because they involve multiple separate stages. Combat
I want to
versus
blow
the
this guy up
Reviver,
now.
searching for a hidden Reviver, and combat versus a revived zombie.
Ah!
In the end,
Jesus.
we still didn't feel like we created enough of a foolproof reason for players to need to search for hidden revivers. So we turned the Reviver's heart into a key, requiring players to collect it.
This is the hardest this guy's ever been. No, wait, he's called the Reviver. See, I preferred the name Lightning Dog, personally. Reviver. Where'd he go? 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 Gotcha. It's actually quite sad when you see him kind of hobbling along.
Alex, what happened?
There was like a dog-looking lightning thing.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
I killed it, and it crapped out this thing.
Right, I need the bug to get some health. Right, let's have a listen to this one. Reviver Animation. So this is the lightning dog that I've just fought. It's called a Reviver. Interesting. Now we know what they're actually called. Exactly.
An enemy's
They're no
animation
longer
can
called
elicit a
lightning
powerful
dogs.
emotional response from players, especially in VR. While developing the Reviver, we learned that sometimes a character performance can have unintended consequences. In our initial Reviver prototypes, we simply used a blue-tinted headcrab model with rudimentary electrical effects. The prototype was successful enough in playtesting that we decided to invest in a new, purpose-built model for the Reviver, with electrical skin and improved effects. Players identified the new reviver successfully in the game, but we ran into a new problem. Players didn't want to fight it anymore. While the blue head crab was easily identified as something dangerous, the new model was something that players had to evaluate from scratch, and they didn't necessarily see it as threatening. In fact, the animations authored for the new reviver model were interpreted by many players as friendly or even cute. Players would often approach the creature
lightning
to try
dog.
to pet it, or worse, refuse to kill it to retrieve the required puzzle piece, blocking their progression in the game. If they did then realize that they were going to have to kill the cute creature to proceed, they felt horrible having to go through with it. To fix this, we reauthored most of the reviver's animations, making it significantly more unsettling and menacing. We also made the reviver more aggressive by adding a jump attack if the player got too close.
Oh yeah,
With
it
these
jumped me
changes to
earlier.
animation and behavior, players once again were fighting the reviver as intended, and they no longer wanted to take it home as a pet.
Good to know, although part of me wants a reviver as a pet. Now this one's going to be really interesting. So this is about the game trailer. Now the reason why this is interesting is I think this is where it was filmed, wasn't it? So this section here, you saw the lightning dog run across, and then a head crab jumps from the left, which doesn't actually exist in the game. But this is part of where the game trailer was filmed. I'm pretty sure. But the room's changed from the trailer, if I remember rightly. Right, let's have a little listen to game trailer.
This is the room featured in the very first shot of the Half-Life Alyx announcement trailer. It's not an obvious choice for that use. The room is dark, not particularly colorful, and it's a pretty pedestrian corridor. Cleaning supplies and laundry baskets are not in themselves attention grabbers. But we chose this scenario because it very effectively demonstrates the excitement and tension that we thought was typical of the game.
Nice.
All game trailers require careful design. Conveying a game's core experience in just a few moments is tricky, even at the best of times. But we believe the Half-Life Alyx trailer had to work harder than most to meet a particularly difficult and...
Oh no, don't stop. No! Ah, I wanted to listen to the rest of that. Damn. Okay, must remember, don't go on the next level while the commentary is being talked about. Oh well. Yeah, it does look familiar from the trailer. It is like the opening scene on the trailer. She pushes things across on the shelf, and she looks dead ahead, and the lightning dog, sorry, the reviver, runs across, and then it draws your eyes to the left, and she looks left, and a head crab jumps, and that's the trailer.
Difficult and
here we go.
uncommon set of challenges. We had kept the existence of the game under wraps, so shipping the trailer was going to be the first time in 13 years that Valve had shown any work on Half-Life.
Nice.
On top of that, the trailer had to quickly communicate that Valve had chosen to make the next installment of Half-Life
in
a
VR
game.
Yeah.
And although we were very confident in the decision to make a VR game and in the quality of what we had built, we still worried that revealing those decisions to the world might cause even our most loyal fans to make their own decision, that we had truly lost our minds. Those of us working on the trailer knew it had to make people so excited that they could put those worries aside. The trailer also had to clearly convey that the game was not Half-Life 3, meaning that it did not take place after the events of Episode 2. Half-Life Alyx was, instead, a prequel of sorts, occurring between the events of Half-Life and Half-Life 2. In addition, the trailer had to show depth, variety, familiar characters, and enough novelty and surprise to get across to the viewer that this was really and truly a full-fledged installment in the Half-Life series, not a small VR experiment or a spin-off. This was a tall order, but the entire game team rallied around the effort because everyone understood the value of the work. We're just as proud of the result we achieved in the trailer as we are of any other part of Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, because, I mean, that trailer is still watched now, like, loads. Every time there's, like, an anniversary or something for the game, the trailer is watched again another few 100,000 times. Because it's so well designed and directed, you know? Oh, did I get that wrong? Hang on. You must go to you, then? And then... can I get it on the same half? There we go. Yes, done it. Yeah, it was a very, very impressive trailer. Very impressive. And it needed to be, like they said, you know, first Half-Life game in like 14 years.
That elevator will take me up to the substation.
There's a substation. Teleporting and immersion.
Half-Life Alyx supports 3 types of player movement: continuous movement, shift teleport, and blink teleport. Early on, one of the properties of blink teleport, and to a lesser degree shift teleport, was that players would often refer to the actual mechanic of teleporting when describing their movement through the environment. I teleported to the desk, or I teleported into cover, was often how players would describe their actions, and it served as an unconscious reminder that they were interacting with a game in a specific way. To address this, we made a couple of key changes early on that significantly altered the way players recounted their movement, and as a result, pulled them further into a more convincing virtual reality. One of these changes was the visual indicator that represented the teleport destination. We swapped the abstract cylindrical indicator used in the lab for a pair of holographic feet. The feet help provide...
I think that got him. I don't think I've ever actually been in this room. I knew about throwing the grenade in. Oh, that's... Oh, it's for resin, is it? Alrighty, so we've got to get down. So let's teleport down here. Get across. Balance. No. Just about. Teleport. Oh, I'll take that. Thank you. It's quite a creepy bit as well. But yeah, trailer-wise, I mean, it sits at like, I think it's like 4 million views or something, the trailer. Whoa. The only good Spidey is a dead Spidey. Ah! Jeez! I didn't jump. Honest. They're just so unnerving, the black head crabs, you know? Really unnerving. Don't think there's anything else in here. Let's keep on going down. Right, zombie is over here. Present. That's gotta hurt. Okay, got one more guy here. I'm not gonna drop down until I've taken them all out.
Last 4 shells.
Got him in midair. Take that, my head crab friend. Let's put you in here. I'm a bit sad that I've completed the game now. Oh, don't worry. If you've just completed the game, it's time to start playing custom mods. Because it feels like you're playing the game afresh. So you want to be playing... the next one to play is Cityscape. And then I would play Return to Rapture. Zenescape. And... what's the other one? Mine. Might be Mine Escape, actually. I've forgotten what it's called. But there's loads of them. And they're all really good as well. Totally worth playing. I mean, I haven't stopped playing Half-Life Alyx for a year now because there's so many new mods for it, and I'm still not bored of it. So, time to get into the modding scene, Limitless. You'll love it. Really easy to load as well because they're official mods. You just get them via the Steam Workshop in-game. Okay, let's carry on. Yeah, you do. Seriously, you need to carry on. You've only had part of the Half-Life Alyx experience if you've just played the main campaign. Because the mods elevate it to an even better level, in my opinion. Right, let's do a save, because I haven't saved it for a while. Okay, we've got a commentary note here. Let's have a little listen. Reviver foreshadowing.
Compared to our traditional first-person experiences, in VR we found it was sometimes all too easy to create an intense atmosphere. This can be to the game's advantage, but it can also be detrimental in cases where our focus is on training players in some new mechanic. In intense situations, players frequently fail to notice or retain critical information, and as a result, we often had to reduce tension in areas of the game where we were introducing players to something new. The audio of the reviver here as the player descends beneath the hotel is designed to ease players into the idea that they will be encountering the creature that they had briefly seen as they entered the hotel earlier. The reviver's scream and its shadow on the wall are designed to reduce tension by indicating the position of the reviver around the corner, removing any potential surprise. Telegraphing the reviver's position and giving players the upper hand helps set up the resurrection scene, where players want to observe the reviver instead of shooting at it immediately. This is critical because this is the first time the player sees the reviver reanimating a zombie, and if players are too distracted to take it in, they won't be successful in the upcoming fight.
Nice. So they basically put that whole scene behind here so you could observe it from a distance and get the hang of the mechanics. So, you know, this was mentioned a lot in my last stream, but they call them training areas. They're training the player about a new mechanic that's coming up in the game. And that is a really good example of a training area, isn't it? You put it behind a fence like that, and you can still interact with it and see what's going on, but you still have to deal with the situation and train yourself to learn how to fight those reviver animals. I'm still going to call them lightning dogs because that's my favourite name for them. Let's call them lightning dogs. Was there anything else in here? No. Okay, so we circled back round. Do you know what? It suddenly occurred to me I didn't have a clue where I was going then. Whoa! Oh yeah, we're fighting another one. That's what we're doing. In fact, we're fighting two. Can't see where he is on the guy. Oh, he's on his arm. Come on, show your face. Where are you? Head. It's limping. Sorry, my friend.
Alex,
Intense.
is the door gone? What happened?
Intense.
It went into a dead guy.
No.
Yeah, definitely need to look
Yes.
into mods.
I had to shoot both of them. It was nuts, Russell.
It sounds nuts.
Oh, it was.
The voice actress for Alex is also quite amazing. It was nuts, Russell. It was nuts. Okay, Reviver training. We kind of covered that, haven't we? What's this one? Reviver ground attack. Let's have a little listen.
In our early designs, a revived zombie was just an invincible zombie with a moving vulnerable spot. Playtesting revealed this to be less tense and threatening than the reviver on its own. And since we wanted the revived zombie to be a higher stakes adversary, we needed to enhance its offensive capabilities. As a natural extension of the electrified nature of the reviver, we chose to create an electrical field around the revived zombie, so that players who got too close would take heavy electrical damage. This worked well for many playtests, until we observed a player who was a proficient real-world marksman. This player was able to easily defeat the revived zombie without ever being threatened by it. In response, we gave the revived zombie its electrified ground counterattack, which forces players to change positions to avoid damage. This created a cadence of attack and retreat that was more tense and satisfying for all players.
Nice, clever. So yeah, the zombie does that weird ground attack, and you can kind of see the line on the ground coming towards you near your feet, and you know you have to move, and you just can't stand there taking pot shots. Look at this. Even some information about the lifts.
Since a VR game must always be rendered from a virtual camera,
or I should say in America,
that matches the
elevators.
player's own point of view, we have limited opportunities to control what the player sees. Elevators are one of the few tools we have in VR to direct the player's view. A rising elevator like this one can be used similar to a crane shot that you might see in film, going from one elevation to another, revealing a beautiful vista or dramatic story beat. In VR, elevator rides can be challenging to make comfortable, as the motion of the virtual elevator is inconsistent with the player's own vestibular system. We found that we can make the elevator rides in Half-Life Alyx comfortable enough for most players by moving the elevator slowly and limiting how much the player could see out of the elevator.
Oh, I just glitched.
This particular elevator was initially far more open, but we gradually introduced more and more visual obstruction
I
to
just
the design
glitched.
so that the player always had some
I just hit a bug.
portion of the
I'm under the
elevator
map.
in their field of view.
What?
This meant that we were able to get the dramatic reveal of the hotel exterior and combine
can I teleport
substation
up?
we desired, but players were comfortable since they could always see the
I've hit a
elevator,
glitch.
which was in their own frame of reference.
I'm underneath the map. The game's broken. Hello. Maybe I can load up an autosave. Let's try this one. That's weird. I glitched under the map. That was really strange. That's right. Bug hit a bug. I hit a VR bug. Happens on occasion. I think that's the first proper bug I've hit in Alyx, though.
Alex, is the door gone? What happened?
New development? It went into a
We're
dead
good.
guy.
No.
Yes. I had to shoot both of them. It was nuts, Russell.
It was nuts, Russell.
Oh, it was.
Right, was there any ammo around here? Before I move on. Did I get the ammo over this side? Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, straight up the elevator. We don't need to do it again. We heard what they had to say about it, roughly. There it comes. That was strange. That was really weird. It's like I hit forward as I was opening the door, so I don't know if the combination of trying to maybe teleport accidentally while I was opening the door caused the bug. I'll try not to do it again. Let's put it on. Have
Since
another
a
listen.
VR game must always be rendered from a virtual camera that matches the player's own point of view, we have limited opportunities to control what the player sees. Elevators are one
I'll
of the
exit
few
it slowly
tools
this
we have
time.
in VR to direct the player's view. A rising elevator like this one can be used similar to a crane shot that you might see in film, going from one elevation to another, revealing a beautiful vista or dramatic story beat. In VR, elevator rides can be challenging to make comfortable, as the motion of the virtual elevator is inconsistent with the player's own vestibular system. We found that we can make the elevator rides in Half-Life Alyx comfortable enough for most players by moving the elevator slowly and limiting how much the player could see out of the elevator.
We're good.
This particular
okay, let's put this one on.
After exiting the elevator, the player gets their closest view yet of the Combine substation attached to the exterior of the hotel. While the Combine architecture can veer into the abstract, it's often at its most successful when contrasted with a human structure.
I feel like a proper tour guide.
Beyond this, we always try to drive the visuals.
You know when you go around in a museum and you've got like one of the
ideally to support the game
audio commentaries on the go.
In this case, the
when you're
routing
looking
of
at exhibits,
some unusual power
feels a bit like
source to
that.
The vault from various parts of the city. The player doesn't know it at this point, but this substation is designed to essentially torture the song out of a group of Vortigaunts who are housed in the attached pod farms. The output is collected from the Vortigaunts before being reharmonized by a single conductor Vortigaunt via the cable tuner apparatus seen at the root of the transmission cables that run up to the vault itself. This design gave us the opportunity to subsequently meet another Vortigaunt and acted as enough of a constraint to allow us to design an interaction that would physically compromise the substation as the player exits the hotel in the next map.
Unbelievable detail. So what they're basically saying is this substation has a Vortigaun in it, and there's like a receiving Vortigaun at the other end. And all of these are the Vortigauns that have been imprisoned, and their power is being used in these substations. Ridiculous. Ridiculous detail. Crazy. Oh god, really? Right. Let's do you to you first. Then you. I don't think you can get that. Can you? Can you get that? No, you can't get that. Alright. Maybe you to that one? No. It's yellow. Oh. There we are. You to you, maybe? No. Yellow. You're yellow to you. Let's do you to you. And that leaves maybe you to you. No, okay, that means red. You red? You're not red. So you go over to that one. No! Wrong one. Yes. And then you go over to over this side. Can't reach. There we are. Woo! That seemed a little bit complicated for no reason. This is good. Do you know what? There was talk of a Half-Life movie that actually started production at one point, and then it all went a bit quiet. So I don't know what happened to it, but the Half-Life movie is actually a thing, or it was a thing at one point.
You've almost got it.
I think there was talk of a Portal movie as well. God knows what that would be about, though, like how that would work. Right, let's upgrade weapons. I need to put the basics back on the pistol. So let's get laser sight on. But agreed, Half-Life in general would be an amazing series to get right. Like, if they really nailed the atmosphere, it could be incredible. Like, there's so much there for, you know, a decent trilogy, I reckon. More than that, even. Maybe reflex sight. Hey,
Wow.
now, was there anything else I
Gun's looking
wanted?
pretty good.
Russ,
20.
Come on.
Do I
At
want
this
burst
point, it's
fire?
kind of our gun.
Let's have burst fire as well. That makes our gun look extremely hardcore again. It's going to look good. There we go. It's a good all-rounder, the pistol.
Check it out. My gun just keeps getting better and better.
You know, Russ, technically, I don't think there's a whole lot of your gun left anymore.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, let's put that idea on hold for now. We can chat about my gun when you get back.
Okay, down we go. Now, we've got another couple of lightning dogs to go, haven't we? I hate to point it out to you, but the TV goes round the other way when you watch it. Just so you know. Oh. Anyway, let's carry on. Fuck. Ah! Jesus! Whoo! He made me jump. I had literally no idea he was there. Gave me a heart attack. Holy smokes. Hear that substation outside. Sounding extremely powerful.
Uh-oh. This guy's not wearing a shirt.
She's only worried about this guy not having a shirt right now. We've been past about 80 guys without shirts, and Alex has decided this is the one that she's worried about. And it looks like he's bathing a head crab as well, giving his pet a bath. Gotta look down the toilet just in case there's some resin. Not the nicest of places to look for resin, but on occasion you kind of get that. And through we go to the next level. I did see a fan-made Portal movie short on YouTube a while back. Oh really? Yeah, there's loads of kind of like fan-made stuff out there, definitely. Loads of fan-made kind of films. And some of them have like such high production quality that they kind of fool you into thinking they're the real deal. And I've done it a few times. I've like watched a couple of different trailers and gone, hang on, was that an official thing? How come I've never heard of this film? And then you realise like, it's fan-made. Right, so we've got some more of this Zen flora everywhere. It looks amazing though with the way it glows and things. And see how it is pulsing to the sound of the substation. So when the sound goes, there it is, look. So that low rumble, and it's reacting to it, like it said in the commentary. Never noticed that before. That's really clever. Dead head crab. Should get some more commentary soon, I think. Hate these things. Okay, we've got some more commentary over there. Go there in a sec. I mean, look at this scene. And the way, like, the bed is kind of being assimilated into the Zen flora. It's like, it's pretty gross and quite incredible. And here, like, it's lifting up the mattress as well. Like, the detail is phenomenal. And that's why this is my favourite game in VR by far. Right, let's have a little listen to this. Zen Flora response.
Zen foliage has been designed to respond to the player in a number of ways. In dark areas, where the flashlight is active, some Zen flora will animate or expand in response to the light. These Zen plants respond to the proximity of the player's hand by glowing and pulsing. The glow effect in particular is rendered with an offset using the correct binocular perspective for each eye, which gives the impression that the glow originates in the interior of the organism. The Zen Flora's shader effects, which rely on hand proximity, take their input from a dynamic voxel field which follows the player at all times. The player's hands effectively draw motion trails in this voxel field, which can be sampled by the foliage's shaders to drive deformations and other shading effects. If the player moves their hands quickly, they produce motion trails in the voxel field. If they hold their hands still, they produce a radiating force. These different types of motion characteristics allow us to create different behaviors in the foliage to give it a bit of extra personality.
Well, they definitely gave all this personality because it feels like everything is alive, which is what they were kind of gunning for. Everything's just exploded as you go past it, look. Absolutely gross, but kind of cool. Onwards and upwards. We need to get a bit more resin because we've been using all the resin up. So we need to refill the resin bucket. Yeah, and ammo as well at the same time. Now that I've got the burst fire on the pistol, I'm getting through the ammo really, really quickly. And that's a problem with it, you know. You maybe use too many bullets. Single fire is definitely the way forward. But when you've got a lot of enemies, burst fire really helps you out. There we go. What a troll. So here we have a developer node on the windowsill. Let's have a little listen. Particles in VR, this is called.
Particle effects present an interesting challenge in VR due to stereopsis, which is our ability to discern the depth
Non-VR
of objects
particle,
from two
VR
slightly
particle.
different views of the world we see from our two eyes. Traditional particle systems, as seen on the left, were typically implemented as a series of flipbook images displayed on relatively large polygons, which orient to face the player. Each series of images would contain effectively a little movie of a more complex phenomenon, like a wafting puff of smoke or a flickering flame, and so on. For the monoscopic rendering used in non-VR systems, this approach holds up well and is widely used across the industry. Because of the stereo rendering used in VR, however, players can easily see the flat cards, resulting in the unconvincing effect seen on the left. To address this, we had to update our particle rendering techniques for VR. The particle system on the right is an updated VR-friendly version of the older effect seen on the left. One technique we used on large cards, like the ones used in this smoke effect, was to create some drag on the card's reaction to the player's head movement. To do this, we created another particle system which lagged the player's position and was used as a player camera for the facing direction of the smoke cards.
Unbelievable.
By removing this one-to-one relationship of head motion to sprite rotation, we were able to give the impression that the smoke effect was volumetric. In addition to using more 3D elements
So a
in the
lot of
creation
information
our
going on
effects,
right now.
we also often use the post-processing bloom on particles to help visually merge elements
This is
that
all kind of
otherwise would
proper
appear as a
developer
set
speak
of
now.
flat planes. This made the cards harder to stereo fuse, which gave them a more diffuse volumetric feel.
Okay, so what they were saying there, I don't know if you could see it, but you probably couldn't see it on screen, was the left particle field that he was talking about. As you walked around it, it looked flat in places, so they had to update it completely for VR, which was the right particle field, which is quite interesting. You got a bit close there. Oh, taking a bath. Nice. It's nice and cozy. Sorry, you got to look down the toilets, I'm afraid. Just in case they've hidden resin there. Right, we've got a barnacle here. So if this guy comes down, he's going to get caught by this barnacle and I can just walk past him. I might have to take that health item off him though. Thank you. Down you come. That saves some ammo. Although I think he's got some ammo on him. Thanks. Barnacles, when you get close to them, they're pretty gross, and the sounds they make as well. All the different sets of teeth they have, like ridic, man, ridic. Woo, that took a long time. How we doing, folks? How's things? How's the stream? It's a creepy little corridor, this one. Oh. Oh, he's gone. Stream looks and sounds great, dude. Thank you, Limitless. Appreciate the feedback. No, nothing. Nothing. Now, I know a black head crab crawled through that hole in the floor, but I guess he's going to leave me alone for now. I hate those things. There we go. That really broke the toilet. We're back here again. Oh God. Darkness. Let's have a little listen to this.
One of the tenets of Half-Life game design is creating crafted, moment-to-moment experiences that players participate in as they progress through the game. Sometimes this means playing with emotional responses to turn something undesirable into a memorable highlight. This collapsed section of the hotel features this type of experience. Players are often instinctively pulled to the safest looking location in a given area, and here that would be the well-lit corridor above. But when they get there, they find their way blocked by a Combine power shield. The power cable to shut down the Combine force field leads them back down into the poison headcrab-infested darkness below, a place they really didn't want to go. These larger gameplay spaces also need to be resilient to player choice, so even if a player chooses not to head up to the well-lit corridor, they likely will still have the same trepidation about heading down into the darkness below. After the player has braved the darkness and sheltered themselves in the lit room where they're safe from the wandering headcrabs, they're faced with the daunting task of cutting the power to the Combine force field, because this has the side effect of plunging the area into darkness. Not only does that make the situation worse, since the player must make their way out of the pitch blackness with only a flashlight, but the path to the exit is back through all the poison headcrabs. We spent a lot of time tuning this experience through careful playtesting and evaluation. And often, when recounting their travels through the hotel in post-playtest discussions, players would recall this moment of being plunged into darkness as a high point, managing to combine a feeling of amusement with the overall sense of dread.
I wouldn't say this is a high point. Being put into darkness? Not at all. Oh. Ah! Jeez! Stop making noises. Is it caught a head crab? What's it doing? Yeah, it's caught a head crab. Mmm! Dinner's up. Right then, so...
Combine shield blocking your path.
I'll figure out how to shut it down.
Right, so that was useless coming here, wasn't it? Because if I listened to the commentary, I would have realised I would have had to go down again anyway. So... Can we open this? Okay, back down then. And we've got to follow the giant cable all the way down. Actually, that's not a good idea to teleport there with this dude around. Okay, down we go. Not through there, is it? No. Through here and then we drop down. Yeah, so here's the cable. It's going down through the floor. Through all the head crabs. Gee, and there is a lot of them. So let's maybe clear our path. And then down we go. Close the door.
Alex, it's your lucky day. That
SMG.
How are you sure?
Still in the case. They never leave them in the case.
Nice.
Here we go.
You need to edit your genetic code.
I know. You'd love that.
That's okay. There'll be a next time.
Good stuff. Still got to get through all the head crabs again. Got a grenade that'll help. Anything else in here? Look at them all outside the window jumping up at me, look. Can I smash the window? Yes. Ah! He got me through the window. There we are. Ah! There's one still out there. How's he still alive? Right, up we go. Oh, get up, get up, get up. And breathe. So hang on. We haven't shut down the substation, have we? No, we haven't. Damn it. Let's go down the ladder again. I can't believe I've got to go back through here. Ah! Oh, I'm being an idiot. Luckily, I think there was a heal in here, wasn't there? Pretty sure there was. Yeah. Here we are. This is where we shut down the substation. This way. Hey Sammy, how you doing, dude? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again, Mum. We are playing Half-Life Alyx Commentary mode. It's been really interesting. So all the developers tell you about the game as you play.
Two shots left.
Ooh, fluked that in a big way. TTS isn't working. No, it's not working at the moment just because you have the developers talking to you as you play. So if everyone's trying to talk to me at the same time as that, it'll get a bit confusing. So for this stream, I've got you guys on my wrist here. But welcome back, man. Hope you're good. Oh, look at all this ammo. Come here. Nice. Right, let's turn off the power. Okay. Hang on. Can I get up here? Where's the thing? Aha! Ah.
Oh man.
Okay, it's not dark for long. But I think we're going to need the SMG on this section. Because there is a lot of these guys around. Ow! Ah! Ah, this is horrible. Get me up the ladder. Go, go, no, go. Horrible. Head crabs everywhere. And it's not like it's the normal head crabs either. It's like the big guys, you know? he still alive? Whoa. Woo! This is intense. Makes total sense. Yeah, it does. Like, literally no point in having everyone talking at me, including the developers themselves. Right, I'm gonna need a couple of grenades. Power's off. We did it, chat. What?
Three cells left.
Okay. I'd like to say that's the last one, but I very much doubt it. Okay. Don't even know where I'm going. Up here? I've totally lost my sense of direction with this game so far, this playthrough, which is really weird.
Last one.
How did that not kill them all? There's one stuck in the wall over here.
One left.
Really? One magazine left? It's alright. He doesn't look like he can get me. He's bugged out, I think. Oh, holy cow. Right, done. Hey, more commentary. Here we go. Ammo balancing. Let's have a listen to this.
A common game design problem is that of resource placement, and this spot in the game is a good example. Players have just left an area where they acquire the combined submachine gun, and whenever they get a new weapon, we try to give the player the opportunity to experiment with it right away. So, right after the SMG, we make sure to give the player a bunch of ammo for it, and a supply of not too threatening enemies, in the form of confined zombies and wandering headcrabs to experiment on. But playtesting has shown us that there's a wide range of ways that players respond to that setup. Some shoot a headcrab or two and move on, but some players take their time exploring the weapon, even using up all the ammunition we gave them. Now, after the headcrabs, the player is heading towards a new area, which features one of the hardest combat arenas in the game, where they must fight two revivers at the same time. How much ammunition can we expect the player to have here? How much should we put in this area between the two arenas to ensure all players will have enough to fight the two revivers? If we don't put in enough, player may be in a position where they cannot succeed at the upcoming encounter, and reloading their save games won't help them. They will need to go back and replay the previous area, this time conserving more ammo. That's not something we want to happen, nor is it something that we can expect all players to realize. Instead, many will repeatedly try and fail to be the two revivers. So, at its core, the problem with resource placement is that the dynamic range of resources carried by players can be significant, and it gets even wider as the game progresses. In Half-Life Alyx, we would see some players end the game with barely any ammunition, while other players had over 1,000 unused rounds.
What? How do you finish it with 1,000 unused rounds? That's impossible! They must have been like speed running it without shooting anything to finish with that amount of ammo. Speaking of loads of ammo, here we go. Get loaded up on
Last 4 shells. 2 shells left.
shotgun shells. Okay, so there was another bit of developer commentary over here. Let's check this one out. 2 reviver fight.
Up until this point, each Reviver encounter has been focused on teaching players something new about the Reviver so that they can defeat it. This arena represents the culmination of the training. There are no new rules, there is nothing to learn about the Reviver itself. By this point, players are armed with the knowledge required to progress. The challenge then shifts into a combat problem where strategy and execution are required. Players have to juggle and prioritize multiple targets, utilize all of their weapons, and manage a constrained supply of ammunition in order to prevail and make their way back out to the exterior of the hotel, so they can deactivate the combined substation.
Amazing. So many people have contributed to this commentary. Like, I would say at least 10 developers so far. Like, because they've all had slightly different voices. So it hasn't been the same one all the way through, including Gaben himself. He did the very first node. Very cool. In desperate need of some ammo. Yeah, I was in desperate need of some ammo. You defo the former. Yeah. 1,000 unused round. I know, like, how did they do that? Okay then, we've got 2 lightning dogs to fight down here. I might save it quickly. Oh, we're loaded up on this. And we've got some ammo left in the SMG. Ugh! Right, so the lightning dogs have seen me already. Let's remember, there's first aid there if I need it. Let's go and get these dogs. Another first aid down there. Whoa! Was that 2 lightning dogs in the same body? Out of shells already. Ah! Can everyone stop moving? Right, those dogs are going to come running in here, really, to try and resurrect one of these guys.
3 south left.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Can't see him, can't see him. Ugh. Yeah! He's gone behind me, he's gone behind me. No! He's resurrected this guy. Got too close to him. You can sit down as well, dude. And you! Everyone just stop getting up!
3 cells left.
Chasing this one. Where'd he go? Oh man, has he got another body? He has.
Three more.
Everything wants to electrocute me right now. And once again, I'm running out of ammo. Yeah, one's down, got him. I'll take that, thank you. Grenade. Oh, nearly died. Right, let's wait until it's gone, and then... Get out of there, dude. Is he limping? No. Am I out of ammo?
Out of shells.
Exactly like that guy said. Didn't get him in time though. Yes, here we go. Come on, get out of him. Get out of him. Gotcha. Woohoo!
Did that dog come back again, Alex?
Yeah.
Did it, guys. We did it.
Kind of rough.
Helen just shouted, not the lightning dogs.
Well, we've got to get you out of here and up.
Not the lightning dogs. Yep, I'm afraid the lightning dogs. I know. It's like I like them, but I prefer fighting them, you know, one at a time, if I'm honest. One at a time is absolutely fine. Like, you know, 2 is quite intense. Not gonna lie. But we've done it, and that's the main thing, right? So now we need to get out of here. So we need to use one of these here. Then we can get out, can't we? Oh no, maybe not. I always forget which ones we need on this one. Doors open. So let's head up the top. God, that was quite an intense fight, not gonna lie. Right, now one of the doors is open, which is that one there, so we're going to need to get this one. There we go. And we're through! Yay! On to the next level of Half-Life Alyx in developer mode. Nice. Well, there has been some very interesting insights, I think, into the way that the game has been designed so far. Like, earlier on at the beginning of the stream, there was a whole spiel about the way that they did liquid physics in all of the bottles throughout the games, and it was just like over my head. Like, talking about different types of shaders and the way that, depending on how you're holding it with the motion controllers, it reacts in different ways. And I just couldn't get my head around it. But interesting to listen to nonetheless, I think. Thank you very much. Cheers to the GGs. I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more about like the vault levels as well, like what they did there. Okay. Oh, that was a good one. 3 different nodes. Cool. Let's go and rescue our Vortigon friend at the substation. Have a little listen to this. So this is Vortigon Energy.
Now just snip those cables and off we go.
One of the core subplots of the storyline is regarding the Combine imprisonment and use of the Vortigaunts to trap the G-Man. The multi-dimensional power of the Vortigaunts to detain the seemingly invincible G-Man is established in previous Half-Life lore. Through the use of their prisoner pods and substation technology, the Combine extract the power of the Vortigaunts' Vortessence chant, tune that energy, and then transmit it to the vault to contain the G-Man. To communicate this Combine process to the player without explaining it through lengthy exposition, we used musical sound patterns to represent the process implicitly. If you stand near the pods holding the Vortigaunts, you can hear them groaning their chant in a slow but semi-musical pattern.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any way to disconnect the cable.
So you can hear the guy in there.
Just past the pods is the resonator, within which you can hear a distilled version of the chant energy.
What? That is ridiculous detail. So the Vortigon enemy is in here. Sorry, Vortigon friend. He's in here chanting, and you can just about hear him. And then they distill that chant
Finally,
in here.
The cables are activated,
and you can hear it.
Concentrated Vortigaunt energy, which is harmonized in varying patterns.
The detail in this world.
Intermittently transmitted to the vault once the energy is sufficiently tuned. If you stand near the cables while they're tuning, you'll notice the sheer size and height of the sound. This was achieved by placing the sound emitters for each cable at the locations of the actual cables themselves. The sound of the cables covers a broad frequency range, which emphasizes Steam Audio's head-related transfer function processing. That simulation, combined with the feedback of the observer's inner ear as she looks upwards, gives the same impression of scale that VR is known to give visual objects.
It's just blowing my mind. Like, the minute detail that they go into. Like, it's crazy. Alright, let's blow up this substation. There we go. Boom.
Great. Now go inside and deactivate the power source.
Right, I want to have a little listen to this, because this one says Vortigon animation, and we're about to meet a
Character
Vortigon.
performance within a VR game has a unique set of opportunities and challenges. In our efforts to keep control in the hands of the player, we must create a performance that is interesting enough to maintain players' attention, but flexible enough to allow for player freedom. This scene has the most face-to-face interaction in the game, and there is no physical barrier between the player and the Vortigaunt when he first appears. At one point, we played with the idea of a jump scare when the Vortigaunt is released, upending the player's expectations of what had been referred to only as a battery up until that point. Not only was it a bit ham-fisted, but the Vortigaunt came flailing out of the pod, frequently into the same space occupied by the player. To solve this problem, we cut the jump scare and slid the pod back out of the player's space as it opened, to allow for the Vortigaunt to emerge at a comfortable distance. We faced a similar challenge when determining how to get both the player and Vortigaunt to their next locations without intersecting. We wanted to get the player and Vortigaunt side by side overlooking the vista, while the Vortigaunt delivered critical exposition. It would have been awkward for the player and Vortigaunt to take the same route along the catwalk, so we looked at other options, including exploring ways that the Vortigaunt may have once moved in its native environment. With long forearms, it's feasible that the Vortigaunts may have moved around as quadrupeds, so we chose an agile four-legged scramble up to the higher platform where he can deliver exposition without contending with the player for space.
What?
I can't get into the vault if the substations are still online.
Do not worry, Alyx fans. They will not be. We will not allow it.
Not allow it.
Will clear the path.
I mean, they look real for, you know, a crazy virtual alien being.
There is no distance between us. We are coterminous.
Thanks. Good luck.
So cool. So cool. Right then, on to the next section. Yeah, mind-blowing detail, agreed.
We're putting a lot of trust in that Vortigaunt to shut down all the substations.
I trust him.
Yes, me too. Because if he doesn't, well, that vault isn't going anywhere, and we'll be standing there with no vault to break into, surrounded by Combine.
Russ, trusting him is our only plan here. He'll do this.
You can trust Vortigons.
Yes, you're right. He'll be fine. We're all going to be fine.
Right, picking up all of the ammo here, because I know there's a fight coming up. Is there any more ammo around? Any more? Prefabs.
While developing Half-Life Alyx, we had a large number of people in many disciplines contributing to a relatively small number of maps. This meant that we frequently had multiple people working on the same map at the same time. One way that we managed this complexity was to break our maps into smaller pieces referred to as prefabs. A prefab could be built out of the same types of geometry, logic, enemies, particle systems, or any other elements as a regular map. As long as people were working in separate prefabs, they could make changes or additions without stepping on each other's work. A prefab could contain a large physical space like this whole street scene, or it could contain only a handful of elements. Large prefabs that partitioned a map to allow for collaboration were essential for a project of this scope. But many small, reusable prefabs were created for Half-Life Alyx as well. A good example of this was the set of reusable vehicle prefabs used here and throughout the game. Each vehicle was authored as a configurable prefab, enabling designers to quickly place them around the game, setting a few parameters to customize the vehicle for the context. Parameters include things like the vehicle's paint color, the amount of pre-existing damage, whether the doors were open or simply missing, and the type of ammunition or other resources the vehicle might contain. This sped up our workflow and also meant that updates to a prefab were automatically propagated out to all of the maps that used it.
Can't see the other dude. Where'd he go? Oh, he's over the other side. Is that everyone? No. Right, I think that's everyone now.
You are discharged with multiple level 5 anti-civil activity violations. Please cooperate with ground protection team. Ground protection.
What do you think, Russ? Guess we better cooperate.
Yeah, she sounds like she means business.
We had a good run.
Cooperate.
Good old Russell, providing the comic relief throughout the fighting. Right, we've got a couple more developer commentary points here. What's this one? Procedural displacement.
The tarps used by the Combine to cover buildings in the quarantine zone are animated procedurally. This animation was added relatively late in development, so it needed to be both computationally inexpensive and technologically conservative, so no new systems. Simple overlapping waveforms are used to displace the tarp geometry where it hangs loosely away from the building. The displacements are oriented along the wind direction, and their propagation direction is further modified by the gradients of a texture we refer to as a freedom of motion map.
What are they talking?
This map is derived from the shape of the building geometry under the tarp, and is used to
Okay,
attenuate
that one's
the
boring.
displacement.
The Combine soldier you see here won't fight you. It's been programmed to run back and forth along the path.
Oh no,
shown
it's
on
giving you a
the ground
demonstration of
in
the
order to
AI.
illustrate the stride retargeting system developed for Half-Life Alyx. One of the challenges of animating digital characters is making sure that their feet don't slide along the ground as they move. Humans are very good at picking out irregularities in the movements of virtual characters, especially in VR, and Combine soldiers in particular need to look like their feet are planting and their weight is shifting as they change direction. Otherwise, they appear weightless and unconvincing.
Clever.
In a pre-processing phase, our stride retargeting system analyzes the steps of each authored animation and stores them as a direction-independent trajectory. At runtime, our system predicts where each foot will land on the next step based on the motion of the animation, the character's path, and the height of the ground. The pairs of colored boxes on the ground illustrate this process. The red boxes show the previous foot positions, the green boxes indicate the soldier's current foot position, and the blue boxes are drawn where each foot is predicted to land next. Once the predicted foot positions are calculated, the system guides the feet to the predicted locations using the trajectory information to preserve the style of the original animation. Once the foot lands, it is locked in place until the next step. In the end, this system was so effective that we could essentially make any animation walk in any direction without foot sliding. You can experiment with the system by moving around the area, since the soldier has been set up to always face you while running the specified path.
What? How incredible is that? Wow, a little glimpse into how AI is coded there. So it calculates where he's going to put his feet. I just thought it was just all pre-animated along set paths, but they can literally drop them into any part of the environment, and it's calculated on the fly where their feet would go if they were heading your direction. Clever. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's things? I really hope that Valve go on to make more VR games. Yep, they are. They're making another one. I love Valve's development commentary. I wish more companies would do that kind of stuff in games. Yeah, I agree. Like, you know when you go to a museum and you go for an audio tour of a museum, it's fascinating, right? Because you can make your own judgments about what you're looking at. But until you hear like a qualified professional tell you the small details about the thing you're looking at, like, you don't really get it. And as you're walking around and doing the developer commentary in these kind of games, it just gives you a new appreciation for the game as a whole. You know, people play through it and go, Half-Life Alyx was great, brilliant game, yeah, really, really good. But then you do the commentary and you're like, holy cow, how much work went into this? Like, that's just mental. And it's the detail that Valve go into that sets them apart, I think. I want the commentary voice in my exams at school. Yes, yes. Some of the voices are cool. Missed. Missed. Hey. Ah. Oh, there's more down here. Which one haven't I connected? Oh, there we go. Done. Okay, let's see. Oh, we've only got 16 resin. I don't think that's enough to actually upgrade anything. Pretty sure that's not, but we'll check it out anyway. Nice. Okay, see, the only gun I really want to upgrade is the SMG. I'm pretty sure I can't. Oh, reflex sight. Do I want a reflex sight on the SMG? No, I'll save up for laser sight. Laser sight's more useful. I see you hiding there. Cool. Well, so far, I'm thoroughly enjoying this commentary mode. It's very cool. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's things? Totally forgot the speaker on. No, it's not on at the moment, just because developers are talking to me throughout the game, and if you guys are talking to me with TTS as well, it would have got a little bit crazy. So I switched off TTS for this stream, so I've got you guys in chat with me on a window, which is a new Steam VR functionality, by the way. You can now dock Windows natively in Steam VR to your hand. Kind of cool. The angle's a bit off though compared to like overdrop. Kind of gets in the way, so I have to walk around like that if I don't want to see you guys. Sort of like my hand at that angle. But developer commentary, really happy I'm doing this. Definitely gives me that newfound appreciation for a game that I already loved.
Blast out.
Last mag? No, it isn't. Got another one.
Getting kind of crowded down here, Russ.
Com channel's gone crazy since we took out that substation. They know we're after the vault now. Whatever's in there, they really, really don't want us to have it.
Well, now I just want to...
Now that's the
Oh,
spirit.
got him. That was lucky. Was it just one heavy? He ain't heavy. He's my brother. I don't think there's any more Combine until we get around the corner, so hopefully they've dropped some ammo. That's not ammo. Excuse me, no. Anything? Could really do with some more ammo, folks. You look like you have ammo in. Hey! Lovely.
Last hill.
Okay. Couple of shells anyway. Ah! Don't waste your ammo. Okay, I'll open the drawer. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, God, it's just suddenly occurred to me. I've got to go through that whole nightmare that is Jeff again. At least there'll be some really interesting commentary on Jeff, though. There's bound to be. No post, 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 no post. No post. I saw a Russian word in this room. I don't believe we're in Russia. I don't think so. Could be. No need for overdrop then. Nope, no need for overdrop anymore. Oh god, yeah, Paul, you need to play this campaign again. iDirector Music. Hey, Open World, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's things? I'm good, thank you very much. We're just playing a bit of Half-Life Alyx commentary mode that has been very informative so far. Very, 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 very informative. I think if I'm honest, I've only understood about 60% of what they're talking about, because they have big brains, Valve, and my brain is a little one, not of the same league. So I struggle to understand. If I'm moving slower because my index controllers are really, really close to just giving up. So I'm kind of walking sideways sometimes to keep them going and things. So if you're wondering why I'm taking my time getting through the level, that's all it is.
Steady.
I didn't need health then, but, you know. Oh, what's this? Trip mines! Okay, let's listen to this one.
Trip mines have appeared in prior Half-Life games, and the act of defusing them seemed like a natural fit for a VR game, where players can perform complex operations with their hands. By this point in the game, players have already learned how to hack Combine technology with their multi-tool, but we wanted defusing a trip mine to be more tense than the hacking puzzles. To defuse a trip mine, not only does the player have to place their hand near the laser that could trigger the mine, but they have to perform the task within just a few seconds. Early versions of this puzzle were inspired by lockpicking, resembling a series of tumblers that the player had to quickly align. Unfortunately, the tumbler design required players to rotate their wrists in an uncomfortable manner, particularly given that they had to also avoid touching the laser beam. We removed the rotational component, but kept the timing element, leading to the mechanic you see in the final game. We also experimented with causing the trip mines to actually explode if the player failed to defuse them, but most players found this too punishing, especially in cases where a chain reaction of explosions could occur. Instead, the mines just stay active and the player can attempt to defuse them again. We did end up keeping this behavior for the hard difficulty setting, but added a warning sound a few seconds before the mine actually explodes, to give players some time to move away. We also experimented with allowing defused mines to be removed and redeployed by the player, but we hadn't designed enough combat scenarios around this mechanic for it to be satisfying in practice, so this was left out of the final game.
Cool. I have to say, I quite like the defusing of the trip mine, but I think they could have upped the difficulty. They could have sped it up. So you've got the thing that's chasing you, which gives you a few seconds to defuse it. But I feel like you move a lot quicker than it, and they could have sped that up a little bit, just to add even more tension. Maybe. Doing well, just getting up from my morning nap. Nice. I love hearing the combine sometimes. I go when you hit them. Just some sort of sick satisfaction I have from destroying them sometimes. Okay, combat pacing.
This combat arena that loops back over itself as the player winds through the tenement buildings was one of the earliest test maps built when we began adding Combine soldiers to Half-Life Alyx. One of the lessons we learned from this series of combat encounters was that fighting Combine soldiers was physically taxing on players, as we needed to pay careful attention to pacing. Taking cover, reloading, switching weapons, and acquiring targets really pushed on all the skills that players had learned up until this point. To help cut down on fatigue, we added gaps between the Combine encounters and removed some of the combat altogether to better pace the experience. The trip mines in the stairwell following this battle are a good example of one of the pacing elements we use to slow the player down and let them recuperate before the combat ramps back up again.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. Like, it definitely needs pacing. If you were just constantly trying to kill the Combine one after the other, you would get knackered. You would.
Russ, are they saying my name?
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. Alyx! Alyx! Wrong way. Too many trip mines. Something's buzzing over there as well. Oh, we've got to go that way anyway. So let's blow up those trip mines, I reckon. I could defuse them. Actually, let's defuse them. Let's do that. Okay, here we go. There's another developer node down there we can have a listen to. Okay, one down. Yeah, this bit, they could speed this bit up a bit. I think once you've done one or two of those, you get quite adept at it. Oh, hello. Nice. What's this? Oh, Zen world building. Let's listen to this while I'm shooting them.
It was an interesting challenge for artists and level designers to employ environmental storytelling to paint a picture of what may have happened inside the walls of the quarantine zone. Just like the hotel, these apartments have been overrun by Zen foliage and are filled with people's belongings, abandoned in haste. In this area, the walls have been torn down, either by destructive portal storms or perhaps the Combine's cleanup effort. Barrels of fluid used by workers to try and treat or contain the Zen growth have been left behind, and it would appear that the cleanup efforts have either failed or been abandoned. By not explaining every facet of the world, we leave players with the opportunity to imagine for themselves the bigger picture of life in City 17.
Yeah, I've always seen these kind of Zen-infested areas as areas that the Combine are trying to clear up, which is what she said. Which is why you've got these big containers here, and they're trying to get rid of all the Zen goo. Because when the Combine invade Earth, they actually come under the pretext that they're trying to save humanity from the Zen infestation. So when they first come to Earth, they make out that that's what they're doing, and they're a good race. And then they just end up enslaving everyone anyway. So they lied. The colour palette they use in this game is phenomenal. This kind of blue hue that's over everything looks freaking awesome. What's in the box? Okay. Okay, nothing. Hello? Are we done here? I think we could be done here. Yep. Did I check this cupboard? I did. Infestation control. Cleanup solution. Which way do we go here? No, we go down and then up, don't we? I think.
Last 3.
Oh, can you not climb the stairs? Sorry to hear that.
Four shells left.
Nice. Okay, making slight progress. I hope you're all enjoying a bit of Half-Life Alyx Developer Commentary. It's definitely fun listening to what they've got to say about the game. And just kind of getting a different slant on it, you know. Because you make so many inferences as you first play the game. And it may not be what you think. So when you hear it from a developer, it's great. Just kind of get that backstory right. My Nets controller is so screwed. Oh dear. Right. Let's lift this up. Move it gently out the way. Done. Okay, I need a grenade for this one. Cool, cool. And we are now officially on our way to the distillery, aren't we? Well, you know who awaits. There it is. Over yonder. For some reason, I had a really hard time with those trip mine puzzles. Really? I suppose everyone's different, and that's why they talk about playtesting. You know, you need to do the playtesting to figure out what puzzles people find hard, easy, and what the general consensus is about the difficulty as well.
Dad, we just
I keep forgetting that I played video games all of my life, and not everyone has.
That weapon's gone. We need to get it tonight.
We will.
Like, played video games every day of my life.
This thing's bio.
A large part of every day of my life.
Yep, it's right over there.
Okay, great.
I don't see that as a bad thing.
For sure. You go ahead. I'll be fine, Dad. I promise.
Okay, here we go.
I'll get to work on the data pod.
Hey, we've got another bit of backstory here. Mannequin head crab.
Once we had the spine of the game complete, teams went through the maps looking for additional opportunities to add the character and tone that players associate with the Half-Life games. This mannequin head crab was a fun opportunity to hit on the sci-fi horror B-movie vibe. We had a few conversations about how long to leave the head crab atop the mannequin, and decided that the experience should be analogous to catching a small dog in the middle of some mischief. We wanted players to feel like they had walked in on something they weren't supposed to see, and for them to go away feeling like every inch of the game contained something for them to find if they chose to explore it. After an early update to the headcrab sounds where details like breathing and grunting were added for the first time, we received feedback that the new sounds were too cute and familiar, moving the head crab too far in the direction of a cuddly creature rather than an alien threat. We updated the sounds to be more threatening, but for this head crab, we brought back some of the cuter sounds to sell the head crab's frustration with the mannequin.
I think it's quite funny. You do feel like you've walked in on something with that head crab, definitely. But yeah, agreed. I think some people do find some of the AR puzzles in general in the game quite hard. I must admit, the one where you spin the globe around, you got to match the colours, but it's cut off halfway, so you have to make sure that the two opposing colours are on the right half of the sphere to connect them. That is probably the toughest AR puzzle for me in the game, because I just don't seem to be able to do those quickly. Have to really take my time. So yeah, don't know why it keeps on appearing behind me, this thing, but the map's appeared over there. Okay, onwards and upwards. Let's go. Now, if memory serves me right, we've got something over here. Yeah. Resin. So we've probably got enough to do some... Oh my god, this is crazy, my index controllers. I'm having to wiggle them to move forward now. Actually, from side to side to move forward. Pistol hopper upgrade.
In order to reduce the amount of reloading required in the heat of battle, we wanted players to be able to upgrade the pistol by increasing its ammo capacity. That might seem like a small change, but implementing it in a way that was intuitive to players and that didn't have a lot of negative side effects was surprisingly tricky to get right. Our initial mechanic for increasing the ammo capacity was to use double-sized clips. Once the pistol was upgraded, the player's backpack held clips with twice as many bullets, and those were represented by a clip model that was twice as long. But unfortunately, the longer clips presented a lot of distracting fictional problems. For one, they looked ridiculous protruding out of the bottom of the pistol. Players were also left wondering what was going on in their backpack to transform the single capacity clips that they put in there into the double capacity versions that they were pulling out. We were also left with the sort of absurd implication that the pistol clips found in the world now magically all had to be the upgraded double-sized versions. While we did scrap the double-sized clips, the concept was still enticing. We just needed to find a better metaphor. So then we started looking at the hoppers that were used on paintball guns that could store large amounts of paintballs. In fact, the final upgrade that resulted from this whole line of thinking is still internally referred to as the bullet hopper. So with this in mind, we next needed to design an intuitive interaction model. Players were already satisfied with our existing pistol interaction loop, which was eject clip, insert the next one, chamber, and then shoot. So we wanted to preserve these skills that players were already beginning to master. So players would still reload the gun as before, but small mechanical prongs would steal bullets from the inserted clip, pull them into the hopper, and then place them into the firing chamber as needed. Audio cues were also added to clearly communicate the state of the hopper loading process. The hopper also impacted the visual design that we used to convey the state of the pistol. Originally, the clips themselves had a numerical counter indicating the number of bullets remaining, and on its own this was fine, and players understood it easily. But the readout on the bullet hopper was on the opposite side of the pistol, and had a pattern of blue dots indicating the amount of bullets remaining. So these two representations in two different locations made it difficult for players to quickly determine the total number of bullets in the upgraded gun. To solve this, we designed a single visual readout on the side of the pistol grip. It structurally matched the state of a pistol clip, the pistol's bullet chamber, and the bullet hopper, if the upgrade was acquired.
Wow. That was a lot of information about the bullet hopper on the gun. Which is one of my favourite things, actually. But it does chew through the ammo again. Even though, you know, it gets it into the chamber of the gun quicker for you, you just don't realise how many clips you're using to load it up. But it's an awesome looking thing, though, the hopper.
Russ, how's Dad doing? Does he seem okay?
Oh, he's fine, Alex. He's working away over there.
Good. Thanks.
Oh, he is missing a leg, though.
Yeah. You know, he was missing a leg before.
Right. Well, it's still gone.
still
Thanks,
gone.
Russ.
Sure thing.
Yeah, he was missing a leg before. It's still gone. Brilliant. Okay, out of the way, boxes, please. Right, so that's it. So I've loaded up one clip into the reservoir, then you eject it, put the next one in, and then it's fully loaded. So you got the equivalent of 2 clips, which is cool. Oh, got up that ladder pretty quickly. I hope they've got some information about out here. Oh, please, please. No. This is one of my favourite scenes. Here, when you walk out.
Whoa, Alex!
Are you seeing that?
The Vortigons are taking down the substation!
Yes!
This might work.
Deploy technician teams to blocks 496477. Maintain priority.
So cool. I mean, I've got it running on low fidelity at the moment, just because I need a smoother experience. But holy cow, this is low fidelity, and look at the graphics. It's just such a stunning scene, this kind of vista. So good. Right then. Down we go. And we recognise that place. Okay, we circled back round. So we have to go over here. Over here. And then onto here. And lower this down. So if you listen again, you can hear the Vortigons that are trapped in here. So they're singing in here, which is what those sounds are. That's what those sounds are, and I took those for granted when I first played through it. But the commentary was kind of explaining that. Okay, we've got a node here. Let's have a little listen. This says Suppressor Introduction.
It's generally a requirement that all new enemy types have a section of the game designed to introduce them. We rarely build the introduction early on in the process, though, because it's often through playtesting that we learn exactly what aspects of the new enemy need to be highlighted in the introduction. In addition to understanding the capabilities of a new enemy, we also find introductions help solidify the very existence of the new enemy type in the player's mind. Without an explicit introduction, we sometimes find that playtesters confuse multiple enemy types, conflating them in their minds. This was the case with the Suppressor, the class of soldier that's designed to pin a player behind cover while other soldiers advance on them. The Suppressor is an inversion of the previous soldier classes, who've all focused on trying to push players out of cover. The Suppressor introduction stretches across the next 2 rooms. In the first, players see the Suppressor firing at zombies, giving the player a moment to safely observe its firing behavior. They also get to hear its associated sounds, which are important to learn for future encounters. In the second room, players learn to fight the Suppressor themselves. This is relatively straightforward when the Suppressor is alone, but will become more involved in later arenas where we combine the Suppressor with other soldier types.
Okay, so he's called the Suppressor. Yeah, let's use the SMG on him, shall we? Whew. Let's go. He's like heavily armored. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, my legs are beginning to hurt a little bit. So, I think I'm going to call it in a minute. On tonight's stream. I was hoping to do it in 2 streams, but it looks like it's going to be 3 developer commentary streams.
There's no direct path from where you are to the vault.
Environmental art.
It isn't practical to spend development time or art resources evenly across every part of the game, so we rely on strategic reuse of resources to maintain fidelity and specificity across the game's environments. This space was initially constructed using industrial models and textures seen throughout many previous environments. To set it apart, we added the large cables and Vortigaunt pods to imply a makeshift combine power plant whose purpose was to transmit energy to the substations. The juxtaposition of this abandoned industrial space with the large combine cables created enough visual interest to make the space feel meaningful at a relatively low cost. The cable motif was subsequently added to other parts of the game to increase visual interest and give the player a sense of being led toward the vault. It may not be obvious, but the cables exiting through the ceiling here continue on to the exterior of the building, across the large construction courtyard, and over the roof of the distillery building, presumably continuing on to a substation or other combine infrastructure. Players may not notice that continuation, but such details help guide us in building a world that feels connected and consistent.
No way. So these cables go all the way pretty much to the vault. And then they knew this, like the game designers know this, but the player wouldn't know that. But they prefer to have that kind of detail in, as it helps them with the design of the world. Ridiculous. But fantastic. Let's take the grenade. Actually, we're going to need you as well. A lot of dead bodies in here. Looks like it was the firefight that I wasn't involved in. How are you still alive? It's amazing how good this game looks in low settings. Yeah. Like, there's no other game that I've played in VR that when you lower the settings, you can barely notice the difference. Zombie just threw a hammer at me then. Oh, hello. Oh! Come here, Mr. Barnacle. There you go. Boom. Hang on, this is the way I came, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yes, it was. Where did I want to go? That sounded like a armored head crab. Yep. That's why I love the laser sight. Just can't miss those things. Then we've got to go back up and over, I think. Up this way, and then... Is it across here? Oh, up the top? No. That's why you have to go around. Okay. I got it. Just getting momentarily lost in the environment. But it's this way, and then I think we jump down on top of these things. That's it. I see a faint blue glow here. Hey! And another one. We've actually got a full shotgun for the first time in ages. Okay, no. Whoa!
3 left.
Don't remember those head crabs. But totally worth it for the resin. Hell yes. Been another awesome stream, mate. Really enjoyed hearing the commentary again. Thanks, Mum. Yeah, it's cool. So I'm going to leave it here just before we get into the next section, I think. It's probably a good place to stop. So let me save. There we go. Nice. Cool. And that was Half-Life Alyx Stream 2 on the commentary. So thanks once again for joining me. Really, really appreciate company. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back on Wednesday where we should get through a significant chunk of the game. Possibly finish it if we're lucky. It depends how many other commentary nodes there are. But I'm determined to do a full playthrough with commentary on. And that's what we're doing. So thanks again for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next stream. See you later, folks. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and all the stuff you do on YouTube. Thanks. Cheers. Catch you later.